Hello, I'm Ruth Etches, nutritionist, functional medicine practitioner and specialist in brain health and mental well-being. It feels really timely to be launching my YouTube channel today on World Mental Health Day in 2023, at a time in history when we are really in the midst of a mental health epidemic. The statistics really do make for very stark reading. I was looking some up earlier. According to the World Health Organization's latest statistics in 2023, 10% of the population globally suffers from at least one mental health disorder. In the UK and the US, those numbers really rise to approximately 1 in 4 adults reporting difficulties with their mental health. And really frighteningly, in children and adolescents, the numbers are very high indeed, with approximately 20% of our young people suffering with a mental health disorder. And incredibly, suicide is now the second leading cause of death in our young people aged between 15 to 29 years old. We know that depression is one of the leading causes of disability and certainly absenteeism in the workplace. And even when we remove the suicide figures, people with severe mental health conditions die prematurely as much as 2 decades early due to preventable physical conditions. Now, in spite of much increased awareness of mental health, the numbers of people struggling we know have increased exponentially since the pandemic and the lockdowns. And it's estimated that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men will experience a severe mental illness in their lifetime. So if you weren't depressed already, then hearing those statistics certainly makes for very depressing reading. So where do we go from here? Well, it's my absolute belief, and really the purpose of me setting up this channel, that there is a fundamental need for an integrated and holistic approach to mental health. And this is really something that I see absolutely lacking in the current system. I believe that we need to start thinking about and treating mental health conditions not just as psychiatric illnesses, which are caused by as a result of our thoughts, our experiences, our life experiences, our trauma. Of course, these play a role. But what are we missing when we simply give an SSRI as a sticking plaster for symptoms? When somebody goes to the doctor and they say that they feel very anxious or very low, and they simply are prescribed an SSRI, perhaps a course of CBT if they're lucky. What else are we missing? I believe we're missing the fact that mental health disorders are fundamentally brain health disorders. We are missing the deep dive and the detailed understanding of a person's unique biochemistry. Mental health and brain biochemistry in the conventional system are seen separately. They even fall within separate specialisms in terms of the conventional medical system. The former are seen more by psychiatrists, psychologists, psychotherapists, and the latter by neurologists. But these are not two separate things. They are deeply intertwined. Our mood, our emotions, and our cognitive function are not just the result of our thoughts and our experiences. They are profoundly affected by the biochemical processes taking place in our brain and in the rest of our body. And over the coming videos in this channel, I really would like to discuss and share with you some of these biochemical imbalances. But here's just a taster. Here's a few of the things that I think we are missing when we simply medicate with drugs alone based on symptoms without running some simple tests. We're missing neurotransmitter imbalances. We're missing neurotransmitter imbalances. One of the most well-known imbalances involves neurotransmitters, and these are the chemical messengers in our brain. An imbalance in the neurotransmitters such as serotonin, our happy hormone, dopamine, our reward pathways, and norepinephrine can lead to mood disorders such as depression and anxiety. But neurotransmitters require building blocks in the form of amino acids from the protein in our diet, and cofactors in the form of specific vitamins and minerals. And without these, we won't be able to make, utilize, transform, or break down these neurotransmitters. And this alone can lead to mental health disorders. Number 2, genetic factors. Now, we know our genetic makeup plays a very crucial role in mental health. We see this in particular where mental health disorders run in families. But certain genetic variations can make some individuals much more susceptible to mental health challenges. And in particular, these genetic variations, also called SNPs, which stands for single nucleotide polymorphisms, in our methylation pathways and our nervous system pathways can really have a very important impact. And if we test for these, we can often then use the power of what's called epigenetics, which literally means on top of genetics, to help to support, to upregulate or downregulate some of these pathways using nutrition, supplements and lifestyle. This is something we call nutrigenomics, where we use nutrition to manipulate, to support or downregulate some of these pathways. Number 3, nutrient deficiencies. Nutrients play a crucial role in maintaining our mental health. Our brain is literally the hungriest organ in the body. And standard Western diets relying on convenience foods, ultra-processed foods, can lead to deficiencies in some essentials like the B vitamins, vitamin D, antioxidants, zinc, magnesium, to name just a few. And these can have a very significant impact on our mood and our cognitive function. A lack of essential fats, thinking about these low-fat diets has been linked to a much higher risk for depression and suicide in some studies. And again, we see that low cholesterol that's been demonized, low cholesterol, whether from low dietary intake, whether from poor absorption, whether from statins, is a key finding in all mental health disorders across the board. Number 4, hormonal imbalances. Hormonal fluctuations are not just related to our physical health, they can profoundly impact our mental health. Issues with our thyroid hormone, sex hormones, and even adrenal hormones can lead to mood swings, anxiety, and depression. And last but very much not least is gut health and the health of our microbiome. Thinking first of all about how well are we breaking down, digesting and absorbing the nutrients in our diet, but then thinking about the trillions of microorganisms living in our digestive system. An unhealthy gut can lead to inflammation everywhere in the body, systemic inflammation, and this has very much been linked to mood disorders. A well-balanced gut microbiome, on the other hand, can really support our mental well-being. We know that there is bi-directional communication continuously going on between the gut and the brain, and that this is very much regulated by that gut microbiome. So really, I'm going to be talking about a lot of these topics in more detail in the weeks to come, but I just wanted to touch on where I think the solution lies. And this is with a functional medicine, holistic, integrated, whatever you want to call it, approach to mood disorders. This is about going beyond just symptom-based treatment. This may well be very important to keep somebody afloat. Don't get me wrong, I am not saying that we do not need these conventional drugs as well, but we need to think about the whole person, starting with comprehensive testing, looking at things like neurotransmitter levels, gut microbiome, nutrient deficiencies, hormone balance, genetic variations. And this testing can really provide a very detailed picture of the biochemical landscape of your brain. And once we have this information, we can then go on to create very much a tailored, personalised plan to address the specific imbalances in your unique biochemistry. And this approach might include dietary changes, supplementation with key nutrients, and lifestyle adjustments. So as we think about raising awareness and Mental Health Day, World Mental Health Day in 2023, I'd really like to think about not just raising awareness, but understanding that mental health is very much a result of the intricate interplay of these biochemical processes in our brain. And by recognising these imbalances and taking a much more integrated approach, we can take some much more significant steps towards this huge epidemic of mental illness that we're currently facing. So if you found this information, this first video, my first video, valuable, then please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. As I say, I'm going to be continuing to explore these topics on a week-by-week basis to help to raise awareness, but also to help to support you on your journey to better brain health and mental well-being.